everyone. I'm Jessalyn Wheelis, one of the children's librarians at the Summit Free Public Library in Summit, New Jersey. And I'm delighted to do a Serendipity program online for you here today. Serendipity is a program we've had for quite a few years, every Thursday afternoon at 4, and it's geared for children in kindergarten through 5th grade. And today we're going to focus on comedy, stories and songs, so we'll call this one Crack Me Up. And my introductory song is called Join In. Some of you know it, so at home if you know the song, sing along. Come on everybody, let's all join together, join in. My friend, let's sing with each other like sister and brother. It's fun, everyone. We've got tales and tunes from all over everywhere, join in. My friend, and now I want you to do some motions, and you do them at home, where I can't see you, but I can imagine, all right? Some of you know the motions. This is what you do. Come on, everybody, let's all join together, join in. My friend, let's sing with each other like sister and brother. It's fun, everyone. We got tales and tunes from all over everywhere, join in. My friend, okay. Now I can't do all that and play the guitar at the same time. So you do the motions and I'll play the guitar. Here we go. Come on everybody, let's all join together, join in. My friend, let's sing with each other like sister and brother. It's fun, everyone. We got tales and tunes from all over everywhere. My friend, there's a camel ballerina and a dancing granny. No fooling, they're fooling. There's a spider who's prancing and jungle creatures dancing. You bet, no sweat. Slap your hands, snap your feet, just get up off your seat. We're moving and grooving. Come on, everybody, let's all join together, join in. My friend, let's sing with each other like sister and brother. It's fun, everyone. We've got tales and tunes from all over everywhere, join in. My friend, there's a contest to marry the leper's daughter. She's cute to boot, and an old crack pipe that leaked a lot of water. You bet, no sweat. Snap your fingers, tap your toes. You're dancing like a pro. Move out, talking about. Come on, everybody, let's all join together, join in. My friend, let's sing with each other like sister and brother. It's fun, everyone. We've got tales and tunes from all over everywhere, join in. My friend, we've got tales and tunes from all over everywhere, join in. My friend, we've got tales and tunes from all over everywhere. Join. Thank you for singing with me and for doing the motions. I'm just imagining how great you look doing the motions and how good you sounded. Thanks a lot. Now I'm going to tell the first story. And the first story is called Ricky Ticky Tick. Once there was an old woman who lived down at the bottom of the hill. She lived all by herself, but her daughter lived up on the top of the hill. Now, that old woman was very thin. You might even say she was skinny. Well, one day she said to herself, I'm mighty hungry, and I really don't have anything good in this house to eat. Now, my daughter, who lives at the top of the hill, she said to herself, cooks a big dinner every Sunday, and I'm just going to go on up there and have some with her. And so she took her walking stick and she started walking up the hill. A ricky tick a tick, a ricky ticky tick. Here I go on my walking stick, a ricky-ticky-tick, a ricky-ticky-tick. Here I go on my walking stick. All of a sudden, a wolf jumped out from behind a bush and said to her, "Oh, woman, you look delicious. I'm hungry and I'm going to eat you up." But the old woman said, "Oh, Wolfie Fulfie, don't be silly. Look at me. I am just nothing but skin and bones. You don't want to eat me yet. I'm going on up to the top of the hill and have a big dinner with my daughter. And when I come back down, I'll be nice and plump and fat, and you can eat me then." "All right," said the wolf. "Go and come back." So the old woman kept walking. A ricky-ticky-tick, a ricky-ticky-tick. Here I go on my walking stick. A ricky-ticky-tick, a ricky-ticky-tick. Here I go on my walking stick. When suddenly she heard a roar, and a big black bear came out from behind the tree. And he said, "Oh, woman, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat you up." But the old woman said, "Oh, Berry Wary, don't be silly. Look at me. I am nothing but skin and bones. But I'm going up to the top of the hill to have a big dinner with my daughter. And when I come back down the hill, I'm going to be fat and juicy and plump. And you can eat me then." "All right," said the bear. "Go and come back." The woman kept going. A ricky-ticky-tick, a ricky-ticky-tick. Here I go on my walking stick. A ricky-ticky-tick, a ricky-ticky-tick. Here I go on my walking stick. When suddenly a tiger roared and jumped out from behind the bushes. He said, "Oh, woman, you look delicious and I'm hungry. I'm going to eat you up." The old woman said, "Oh, Tiger Wiger, don't be silly. Look at me. I am just nothing but skin and bones. You don't want to eat me now. But I'm going to the top of the hill to my daughter's house, and I'm going to eat a big, big dinner. And I'm going to get all fat and plump and juicy and come back down the hill, and you can eat me then." "All right," said the tiger. "You go and come back." And the woman went, a ricky-ticky-tick, a ricky-ticky-tick. Here I go on my walking stick. A ricky-ticky-tick, a ricky-ticky-tick. Here I go on my walking stick. And she was at her daughter's house. She knocked on the door, and then her daughter came to the door. "Oh, Mama," she said, "I am so glad to see you. Why, come in the dining room and look at all this food I have made." So the old woman looked at the table, and it was just filled with all kinds of delicious food. You can just imagine what was on that table. And the old woman sat down with her daughter, and they ate, and they ate, and they ate. And at last the old woman said, "Oh, that was so good, daughter. I'm so full I couldn't eat another bite." But her daughter said, "Oh, that's too bad, because I made some pumpkin soup, your favorite, just special for you." "Well," said the old woman, "I reckon I could take a little bite." So she took a little bite of the pumpkin soup. That was tasty. She took another little bite. She ate 2 whole bowls of pumpkin soup. And then she said, "I really have to go on back down to my little house now." But then she got a worried look on her face. And her daughter said, "Mama, what's troubling you?" And the mama told her all about the tiger, the bear, and the wolf who were waiting for her on the hill. Her daughter said, "Oh, I have a plan, Mama. I know what we can do. Come on outside." And they went outside, and there was a great large pumpkin. So the daughter took a knife, and she cut a circle around, and then she opened up the top and pulled out all the seeds and everything that's inside of a pumpkin. And she said, "Okay, Mama, just hop in here and I'll tell you what to do. I'm going to put the top back on the pumpkin, and you're going to roll down the hill, And if anybody sees you, they'll just think you're a pumpkin. They won't know that you're inside. Oh, all right, said the old woman. She got inside, and her daughter put the top on the pumpkin. And her daughter gave that pumpkin a big shove, and it started rolling down the hill. It rolled and rolled and rolled till it bumped right into that tiger. The tiger looked at that pumpkin and said to himself, "Look like a pumpkin, smell like an old woman." But the old woman said, "There's no one inside this pumpkin." "Oh," said the tiger, and he gave that pumpkin a kick, and it rolled on down the hill further until it ran smack into that bear. The bear looked at the pumpkin. He said to himself, "Look like a pumpkin, smell like an old woman." But the old woman said, "There's no one inside of this pumpkin." "Oh," said the bear, and he gave that pumpkin another kick, and it rolled on down the mountain until, wham, it smacked into that wolf. The wolf looked at that pumpkin and said, "Looked like a pumpkin, smell like an old woman." But the old woman said, "There's no one inside of this pumpkin." But the wolf said, "That sounds like the old woman." And he took the top off of that pumpkin. And that old woman rose up out of that pumpkin and took her walking stick and smacked that wolf right across the nose. "Oh!" he cried and ran away from there. The old woman got out of the pumpkin and she went, "A ricky ticky tick, a ricky ticky tick, here I go on my walking stick. A ricky ticky tick, a ricky ticky tick, here I go on my walking stick." And that's the story of the old woman and her walking stick. All right, I think we'll sing another song now, and I'm going to take a sip of water. The first song, "Join In," and this song, "Nobody's Got It All," are both on the CD that my son Ben Wheelis and I made together. And I wrote both songs, "Join In" and "Nobody's Got It All." And Ben wrote all the raps and played the best guitar on the CD. I think you'll enjoy it. When the library reopens, you can check it out at the library, or you could even order it on CD Baby. Cats can purr, but they're not perfect. Dogs have paws, but they're not flawless. Rabbits have fur, but go no further. Nobody's got it all. Cows can moo, but can't dance to the music. Sheep can baa, but can't twirl a baton. Horses can run, but let me run this by you. Nobody's got it all. When you feel cracked, just compete the competition. Don't give up, you'll succeed on one condition. Believe in yourself, know this admonition. Nobody's got it all. Turkeys can gobble, forget about the IQ. Hens can squabble, not much else to do. Ducks can wobble because their feet are just too. Nobody's got it all. Do frogs have it all? Nobody. Do dogs have it all? Nobody. Do hogs have it all? Nobody. Nobody's got it all. So don't you sweat if your team has no power. Don't you fret if your minute walk takes an hour. You'll succeed yet. You'll blossom like story is called The Backwards Boots. One day, Harold Henry was fishing in the sea right beside the king's castle. He cast his fishing line into the sea and he caught something. The first thing he caught was a really nice pair of boots. They were leather boots with colored stones all around the top. Harold Henry thought, nice, new boots just for me. He poured the water out and put the boots on his feet, and Harold Henry felt a little strange, sort of naughty, but he couldn't think of anything naughty to do at that time. He cast his line into the sea again, and this time he caught a silvery fish. "Ah," he said, "the fish will be good for my mother and new boots for me." He began to walk home, and as he walked home, he saw a dead mouse on the beach. And he picked the dead mouse up by the tail and said to himself, new boots for me, a fish for my mother, and a mouse for the cat. And he went on home and went in the door. His mother, Mistress Millie, was glad to see him, and he meant to give her the fish and to give the mouse to the cat. Really, he did. But before he knew what he was doing, he'd given the fish to the cat and thrown the dead mouse to his mother. "Oh, Harold Henry," she said, "you naughty boy, how could you do such a thing?" And Harold Henry said, "I'm sorry, Mama, I didn't mean to. I think these boots must have made me do it. Maybe they're backwards boots and make you do things backwards." "Nonsense," said his mother. "You're just being a naughty boy and you know it. I'm going to call, those boots, you say those are backwards boots. Those are nice looking boots. Give them to me." And she took them off his feet. And she said, Edith Ellen, "I'm going to give these boots to your sister, Edith Ellen, because she's not naughty like you." And so Edith Ellen came running, and Mistress Millie put the boots on Edith Ellen's feet. And Edith Ellen felt kind of different. She thought, she felt kind of naughty, but she couldn't think of anything naughty to do. Her mother said, "Oh, don't just stand there staring at your new boots. I've got work for you to do. You have got to gather the eggs and put them in the egg pail." No, Mama, I want to play with my ball. I just want to bounce my ball." "Silly girl, first you gather the eggs, and then you can bounce your ball." "Oh, all right," said Edith Ellen, and she meant to do what her mother told her. Really, she did. But before she knew what she was doing, she had put the ball in the pail and bounced every one of the eggs right against the house until they were all broke. Her mother was looking out the window and she almost cried. She said, "Edith Ellen, what have you done? Look at the mess you've made. And today your father, Basil the barber, has got to go up to the king's castle to cut the king's hair. And he needs a nice fresh shirt to wear. So I want you to come and I want you to iron the shirt, and then I want you to cut up some carrots for the soup for his lunch." "All right, Mama," said Edith Ellen, and she wanted to do what her mama said. Really, she did, but before she knew what she was doing, she had cut up the shirt and ironed all the carrots. Her mother said, Edith Ellen, you're acting just like Harold Henry, and I won't have it." "I'm sorry," said Edith Ellen. "I think it's these boots. I think they make you do things backwards." "Oh, nonsense," said her mother. Those are good-looking boots, and I'm having a terrible day. I want the boots for myself." She took them off of her daughter and put them on her own feet. And Mistress Millie felt a little strange. She said to herself, what was it I was going to do? Oh, yes, I remember now. I was going to burp the baby and put the pig in the pig pen. And that is exactly what she meant to do. But before she knew what she was doing, she put the baby in the pig pen and was trying to burp the pig. Well, at that moment, her husband, Basil the barber, came in the house, and when he saw his wife trying to burp a pig and heard his baby crying out there in the pig pen, he said, "What is happening in this house? Has my family gone mad, mad, mad?" "Oh, I'm sorry, dear," said Mistress Millie. I'm sorry. I have on these boots, and I think they make you do things backwards." "Horse feathers," said Basil the barber. "Now I must go to the king's castle, and I want you, please, to bake some of that bread of yours that the king likes so much. And after you do that, could you please polish my shoes?" "Of course, darling, I would be happy to," said Mistress Millie. And that is what she meant to do. It was. But before she knew what she was doing, she had polished the bread and baked the shoes. Oh, what have you done?" said Basil. "The king can't eat bread with shoe polish all over it, and look, you burned up my shoes. Now I'll have to go barefoot to the king's castle, and his dog will probably try to bite my toe." "I'm sorry, dear, I'm sorry. These boots, I think they're backwards boots. Well, where's my shirt?" "Oh, I'm sorry, dear, but Edith Ellen cut up your shirt." This family, I need those boots myself, because if I wear those boots, then the king's dog can bite my toe. "All right, dear, but I'm warning you." And he put the boots on his feet and started walking toward the king's castle. Now, as he walked along, he felt kind of strange, and he said to himself, "I know, I don't like that dog. That dog is always threatening to bite me. So, today I'm going to sort of sneakily kick that dog right after I bow to the queen." And so, when he came into the castle, that was what he meant to do, really was. But before he knew what he was doing, he had bowed to the dog and kicked the queen right on the leg. Oh, you horrid man," said the queen. "What do you think you're doing?" I'm sorry," said Basil. "I think these boots must be backwards boots and make you do things backwards." But the king was laughing. He thought it was a funny situation. "Oh, that's all right, Basil. Your shoes are probably just a little too tight, that's all. Now, I want you to shave my beard and trim my hair." "All right," said Basil. And that is what he meant to do, really it was. But before he knew what he was doing, he had shaved the king's head and trimmed his beard. "Oh no," said the king, "my hair, it's all gone. I'm completely bald. Harold Henry, I'm sorry, Your Majesty. These boots are backwards boots. They make you do things backwards." The king said, "Nonsense, give me those boots. I need a pair of new boots." He took the boots and put them on his own feet. "I don't think that's a very good idea," said the queen. "Let me see now," said the king. "What was I just about to do? Oh, yes. I was going to throw out the garbage and count my money." And that is what he meant to do. Really it was. But before he knew what he was doing, he had thrown the money right out the window and was counting the bags of garbage. His wife said, What are you doing? Stop!" And she took those boots right off of his feet and threw them out the window. Now, at that very moment, Harold Henry was once again fishing in the sea. And he heard something land right beside him and looked around and said, "Oh, my magic backwards boots have come back to me. What should I do? I know. I'll put on the boots and then I'll cast my line into the sea." And that is what he meant to do. Really it was. But before he knew what he was doing, he had put on the fishing line and cast the boots into the sea. They did a little dance on top of the water before they sank down. "Oh no," said Harold Henry, "my wonderful backwards boots." maybe if I keep fishing, I'll find them again. And he kept fishing, but he hasn't found them so far, at least the last time I saw him. He said he hadn't found them. And that is the story of the backwards boots. And it was written by Susan Terrace. Okay, I want to play a song now on my lap dulcimer. And I guess you can probably guess that it is called a lap dulcimer because you hold it on your lap when you play it. Now, this song is an Appalachian love song, believe it or not. And it's a silly song and funny, and I think it'll make you laugh. This is how it goes. The name is Chickens Crowing on Sourwood Mountain. Chickens crowing on Sourwood Mountain, hey, ding ding diddle I day. So many pretty gals I can't count 'em, hey, ding ding diddle I day. That's the chorus of the song, and this is what you're going to do. Everybody do it because it's really fun and it looks great. Be a chicken. Chickens crowing on Sourwood Mountain, hey, ding dang diddle I day. Try again. Chickens crowing on Sourwood Mountain, hey, ding dang diddle I day. So many pretty gals I can't count 'em, hey, ding dang diddle I day. Let's do that second part again. So many pretty gals I can't count 'em, hey, ding dang diddle I day. Okay, now I can't do the motions and play the dulcimer at the same time. So you do the motions and I'll play the dulcimer. And there are verses in between. Chickens crowing on Sourwood Mountain, hey, ding ding diddle I day. So many pretty gals I can't count 'em, hey, ding ding diddle I day. My true love is a blue-eyed daisy, hey, ding ding diddle I day. If I don't see her, I'll go crazy, hey, ding ding diddle I day. Chickens crowing on Sourwood Mountain, hey, ding ding diddle I day. So many pretty gals I can't count 'em, hey, ding ding diddle I day. My true love lives over on that chair, hey, ding ding diddle I day. She won't come and I won't fetch her, hey, ding ding diddle I day. Chickens crowing on Sourwood Mountain, hey, ding ding diddle I day. So many pretty gals I can't count 'em, hey, ding ding diddle I day. My true love lives over the ocean, hey, ding ding diddle I day. If I don't see her, I'll take a notion, hey, ding ding diddle I day. Chickens crowing on Sourwood Mountain, hey, ding ding diddle I day. Now the last verse I'm going to play for you is like a marriage proposal. And you're going to be very surprised at this marriage proposal, girls, because we would never marry anybody that said such a thing, but I'm going to play it for you. Chickens crowing on Sourwood Mountain, hey, ding dang diddle I day. So many pretty gals I can't count 'em, hey, ding dang diddle I day. Oh man, let me marry your daughter, hey, ding dang diddle I day. To feed my pigs and carry my water, hey, ding dang diddle I day. Children, chickens crowing on Sourwood Mountain, hey, ding dang diddle I day. So many pretty gals I can't count 'em, hey, ding dang diddle I day. Now, you wouldn't marry somebody that wanted you to feed their pigs and carry their water, would you? We've come a long way, baby, and that wasn't a very good proposal. So we'll put the dulcimer away. This dulcimer was handmade by a man named Bob McNally. And I've really loved it all these years. Okay, I'm going to tell the last story now. And the last story has a participation for you. You are going to do the sound effects. The name of the story is The King with the Terrible Temper. Now, every time I mention the king, you go, "Arr!" And if I mention, he has 3 daughters, so if I mention his oldest daughter, she's very tall. So you go, hello up there. The second daughter is very short, so you go, kaplunk. And the third daughter is lovely and kind, and you go, ah. And when the handsome prince goes, you go, aha. And when he gallops his horse, now I'm going to be saying it with you to help you remember. All right. There was once a king with a terrible temper. He had 3 daughters. The first one was very tall. Hello up there. The second one was very short. Kaplunk. And the third one was lovely and kind. Ah. One day a handsome prince, aha, came riding up to the king's castle. He came in the door and he said to the king, I, the prince, wish to marry one of your daughters. Either hello up there, kaplunk, or and the one I really want is But the king said, no, you cannot marry my youngest daughter. You must marry, hello up there, my oldest daughter. That is what is proper. Or you could marry my second daughter, kaplunk. But you cannot marry my youngest daughter. But the handsome prince, saw that the youngest daughter, wanted to marry him. So the handsome prince, picked up the youngest daughter, and they jumped onto his horse and galloped away. They were married and lived happily ever after. And that is the story of the king with a terrible temper. His oldest daughter, hello up there. His second daughter, kaplunk. And his youngest daughter, and the handsome prince, on the galloping horse. Very good. Thank you for helping me tell that story with you. And so for the goodbye song, we're going to sing a song. When I was a child, I loved to watch the Roy Rogers show. Roy Rogers was a cowboy, and his wife, Dale Evans, was his cowgirl wife. And I love to watch them and sing. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails.